Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Sunday, and you know what that means. It's time for, drumroll please, Ask Susan Sunday Life, our Q&A right here on Congruent Living, for you to come with your questions on what's working for you, what's not working for you. Join in with your aha moments, your just your comments, and where you are with whatever it is that we're talking about. And today we're having a conversation about trust, hey Patricia, where we began at the beginning of April, and with the beginning of May, we're throwing in resistance. It's going to be all about resistance for May. So we might even have a resistance challenge and see what that creates. I don't know. There's so much here. So if you're new, this is not a dialogue or monologue. It's a conversation. So please come in with your comments, some hearts, some thumbs up. So let me know we're in the right place in this conversation. And if you're watching later, #replay, pop in with your comments. You know, I check every day. So I'm so grateful for all of you showing up, waiting for the algorithms to kick in, letting people know we are going live. So people are asking me, how do I know I can trust me? Well, my question would be, how much resistance do you have to acknowledging what you really know is true for you, right? Now, I call that like really right in your bones, right in your gut, right? You know what's true for you. If something's light, it's joyous, your energies expand, everything is working, it's flowing. It's something, you're in your knowing, right? You just know. It's like, yeah, right? How did I know that? I just knew. I didn't have to question it. So when you're not in your knowing, do you notice how things contract, right? You notice how all of a sudden you're distracted. You kind of get into that mental thing of questioning. And those questions really aren't a question. They're more about, oh, well, I have this story about what happened when I tried this before that will reinforce, right, what I've decided I can't trust about this idea, about me. If you say, well, I always, right? Well, I never, I can't, right? There's a story there. So if you keep going back to your story, you're telling the universe you actually are not interested in creating anything greater, and you actually learn to trust that story. Now, as bizarre as it seems, right? You trust that you know that if you depend on that story, the same thing will happen again. And you actually don't have to change. You don't have to ask for more, right? So where does the resistance come in here? Well, how many people are refusing to give up their stories? Right? I work with people all around the world. And the biggest thing that is their biggest aha moment is when they come to me with why they can't do something, why something hasn't worked. We kind of go deeper on that and ask, is there a story that you're holding on to here, right? And it's not about negating anything. It's more about acknowledging where you are in the present is not where you were in the past. Right? So are you resisting a future that could be terribly uncomfortable because you can't control it with your stories from the past? You see how that works? Every story that you hold is real and true. You can trust that you know that story. You can trust that if you repeat that story, the same thing will happen again. Now, my question for you is, how do you know that you can trust you? What are you creating? Look at what you're creating, right? Take an aerial view of everything that you're creating, right? Just put it all energetically in front of you. How you're creating, who you're creating with, what you're creating. And ask, so which one of these things is actually working for me? And when you bump up against something that isn't working for you, ask yourself, is there a story that I'm holding on to? Right? That I can trust. I can trust that story. That's my his story. That's my her story. Right? My mom always treated me like this. My dad always treated me like this. We never had any money. I can't trust my body. Whose stories are those, right? That you've decided or learned or were trained to at a very young age, you have to trust that story. No one will ever look out for you but me. Right? Blood is thicker than water. I mean, think of all the stories that we were entrained to at a very young age. Right? And then ask yourself, wow, what am I resisting? What future am I resisting? What joy am I resisting? What unknown am I resisting by trusting in the stories? And again, put those stories energetically out in front of you and ask yourself, which one of these is actually working for me? Which one of these is light and joyous and orgasmic? Which one of these has me contracting into who I decided I have to be in order to protect me? So when we buy our story as true and real, we're actually protecting our story. And you can trust that if you protect that story will come to fruition. Again and again and again. Because you're actually looking for proof. Right? So my challenge for you is to ask you this simple question. When you bump up against anything this week, as we head into May, ask yourself, what am I resisting here? Right? Who would I be if I wasn't resisting this? What would that look like for me? What could that look like for me? Because, we often talk about, in order to create change, you've got to let go of the old habit and create a new one. Right? So being out of resistance is a way to create a new habit. It's a way that said, okay, how can I exchange this old habit, this habit that I know, that I trust, because I know what it will create, into something new, into something greater? I wonder what that could look like. So any questions, any ahas? Are we in the right lane? Just give me a heads up or a high five or something. I notice, and thank you so much. I very much appreciate it. I notice a lot of people are listening, not on live, but they're listening live, but they're not, I can't see them. Let's put it that way. And also, I do appreciate all of you who come in later and hashtag replay and pop in your comments. It's so great. I know, that's how I know where we're going. So I think that this is a very short one today. It seems like I'd love your comments. Come in later. This to me is something so important, right? If you're asking to change anything, and it's not getting created in the way that you're choosing, ask yourself, what am I truly choosing here? Right? You say, well, I'm choosing, Susan, I'm asking questions, I'm choosing for greater, I'm choosing more. But what are you actually choosing? Right? Is there anything that you're holding on to, that you're choosing to hold on to, that actually has you in resistance to creating greater? I know for myself that there's a certain way in which I just dive in. I'm just like, yeah, I want to learn this, and I've joined some different groups in the last couple of months, and I found one very confusing. It's all about information and creating my brand, into working greater, into opening up congruent living for more people to see and hear and get a taste of what congruent living coaching is all about. And I didn't realize until yesterday, oh, the information's all here. They made it very easy for me. Right? Now, part of my story was, oh, I don't understand things. Right? I was told I was mentally challenged in grade 6. So I bought that it's true and real, and yet I didn't. But what I did learn to do was to use that. I won't understand this. Right? I always think differently, rather than, wow, I'm the kind of person that looks at this in a totally different way. And I ask the information to come to me. Right? Which is what I've done my whole life. I just actually acknowledged it the other day. As I was working through this format that they created, I was like, oh, the information's already here. I was making it much more difficult for myself. And with that aha moment, it's like, the universe said, okay, now you're ready to receive? So, are you resisting things being too easy for you? Do you trust that the harder it is for you to do, the more you're actually being you? What if there was a different way to be in this life, on this planet, with what you're asking to create? And so my question is, what are you resisting? That if you didn't resist it, would give you more and all of you. Yeah. So, I will love you and leave you. I'm just going to look through my notes and see if I've missed anything here. Everything you do over the next week, stay in the truth of you, right? What is true for you? Not for somebody else. What is true for you? Are you resisting what's true for you? Yeah. If you want some topics on this, somebody actually wrote me and said, oh, with resistance, could we talk about forgiveness? So we will be talking about forgiveness. If you have a sense of what you'd like me to be talking about with this idea of resistance for May, just write it. Susan, here's an idea. Here's an idea. This is for you, right? We have an international group of people here. This is for you. And thank you, all of you who responded to my offer to have an interview with you with a new program that we're creating at Congruent Living. I'm so excited and I want your input. And that's why I offered to have some interviews. And we have some space opened up. People have a different time zone. It hasn't worked out for them. Just say, yes, you know what, read right in here below and just say, yes, Susan, I'm in. I'd love to have an interview with you. Count me in. All right. I adore you all. Live boldly, love greatly, and be that fearless leader that you came here to be, because the world needs more of you and that special sauce, not less. All right. Again, I will go back in here. Perhaps there were comments that were written on that I haven't been seeing. All I keep seeing is the beautiful Patricia who is watching. Okay. Take care. I love you all and live boldly, love greatly. Be that fearless leader that you came here to be, because the world needs more of you and who you truly be, not your stories. Yeah. Who would I be without my story? What am I resisting? Let me know. I'll look forward to you. Bye-bye.